Have you ever wondered why, despite eating fish 2 or 3 times a week, like the doctor said, you're still feeling exhausted? Your joints ache, your memory slips? You feel inflamed, bloated, slower than you were even a year ago. And the most frustrating part? You're trying. You're making the healthy choices. You swapped out red meat, cut down on fried food, and added more fish into your meals. And yet, your body doesn't feel any better. In fact, some days, it feels worse. This isn't just aging, and it's not your fault. The truth is, not all fish are created equal, especially in today's food system. And the worst part? Many of the fish most commonly consumed by seniors in the United States because they're affordable, easy to prepare, and marketed as heart-healthy, could be quietly sabotaging your health. In 2023, a major analysis published in The Lancet revealed something alarming. Seniors who consumed certain types of fish just twice a week had significantly higher markers of systemic inflammation, heavy metal accumulation, and even cognitive decline. That's right. Fish, something we've always trusted, can actually be pro-inflammatory depending on where it's sourced, how it's raised, and what it contains. I know this sounds shocking. After all, we've been told for decades that fish is brain food, that it's good for the heart, and in the right cases, that's absolutely true. But when your fish comes from polluted farms overseas, or it's packed with mercury and processed with chemicals you can't even pronounce, it stops being medicine. It starts becoming poison. I've seen this pattern more times than I can count. A well-meaning senior adds fish to their diet, expecting improved memory, better heart health, more energy. But after months, they come back confused, defeated. I thought I was doing everything right, they say. Why do I feel worse? Here's the truth. Some fish will heal you. Others will inflame you, fog your mind, and silently accelerate aging. The difference lies in what kind of fish you eat, and whether your plate is working for you or against you. Today, I want to show you exactly which 4 fish are damaging your health behind your back, and which 4 are quietly packed with the nutrients your aging body is starving for. This might be one of the most important nutrition conversations you hear all year, because for many seniors, fish isn't just a meal, it's a medicine or a mistake. Walk into any major supermarket in the US, Walmart, Kroger, even your local discount grocer, and you'll likely find neatly packaged white fish labeled swai or bassa. It's cheap, mild in flavor, and easy to cook. For many seniors living on a fixed income, it seems like a no-brainer. But this fish, imported mostly from industrial farms in Vietnam and China, may be doing more harm than good. The biggest concern with imported bassa isn't just where it comes from, it's how it's raised. In many cases, bassa is farmed in highly polluted rivers, where waste, runoff, heavy metals, and pesticide residues contaminate the water. To keep fish alive in such conditions, producers often rely on heavy doses of antibiotics. These residues don't just disappear, they end up on your plate. And while bassa might look like a healthy choice, it offers little in the way of real nutrition. Unlike wild fish, it contains extremely low levels of omega-3 fatty acids, the very compounds that reduce inflammation and protect your heart and brain. What you get instead is a disproportionate amount of omega-6 fats, which in excess can do the opposite. They promote chronic inflammation. If you've been eating bassa 2 or 3 times a week and wondering why your joints feel stiffer, your digestion feels off, or your energy is lower than it used to be, this fish may be playing a role. Some people even report skin flare-ups, sluggish thinking, or new sensitivities in the gut after months of regular consumption. Now, I understand that for some, avoiding bassa entirely may not feel realistic, especially if you're on a tight budget. If you must use it occasionally, there are ways to reduce the harm. Always choose frozen over fresh, as frozen varieties are often processed under stricter conditions. Cook it thoroughly at high heat. Grilling or baking is better than pan frying to kill residual bacteria. And never eat it raw or undercooked. But if you have a history of digestive issues, autoimmune disorders, or are already managing inflammation, I urge you to be especially cautious. Basa may seem harmless, but for a vulnerable body, it's a hidden trigger. Just because something is labeled as fish doesn't mean it's helping your health. Sometimes, the cheapest choice at the store ends up costing the most, just not in dollars. Let's make one thing very clear from the beginning. We're not talking about wild-caught salmon here. We're talking specifically about farmed Atlantic salmon, the kind sold in bulk at places like Costco, Safeway, Walmart, and even some higher-end grocery stores. It's often labeled simply as Atlantic salmon, and it's the most commonly consumed salmon in the United States today. For decades, salmon has been glorified as one of the healthiest proteins on the planet. Rich in omega-3 seconds, good for the brain, protective of the heart. And while this may still be true for wild salmon, the farmed version is a very different story, and for seniors, especially, it comes with hidden risks that most people never hear about. Farmed Atlantic salmon are not raised in pristine, icy rivers. They're crowded by the thousands into floating pens, fed a diet of soybean oil, fish meal, and synthetic additives to give their flesh that bright pink color. In nature, salmon turn orange from eating krill. In fish farms, they turn orange from chemicals. This unnatural diet alters the fat composition of the fish. Instead of being rich in anti-inflammatory omega-3 seconds, farmed salmon are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids and saturated fats. In fact, some studies have shown that farmed salmon can have up to 5 times more saturated fat than their wild counterparts. That might not sound so bad, until you realize that this shifts the fish from being anti-inflammatory to pro-inflammatory. And inflammation is exactly what we don't want more of, especially as we age. Seniors who eat farmed salmon regularly often notice more joint stiffness, bloating, or even trouble sleeping. You might expect more energy and mental clarity from this so-called superfood, but instead feel heavy, foggy, or unusually irritable. If that weren't enough, farmed salmon are also frequently exposed to chemical pesticides and even environmental contaminants like PCBs, substances known to disrupt hormone function and increase long-term health risks. Now, does this mean you can never eat salmon again? Not at all. But if you choose to include it in your diet, look for labels that say wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Those are your safest bets. And if you accidentally pick up farmed salmon, try not to fry it in oil, which adds more inflammatory fats. Bake it with herbs, lemon, and a light drizzle of olive oil, and keep it to an occasional meal, not a weekly habit. For seniors with heart disease, diabetes, or autoimmune conditions, these distinctions are not just small details. They can mean the difference between healing and harm. Fish can still be your friend, but only if you know which ones are truly working in your favor. If there's one fish that appears on senior dinner tables more than almost any other, it's tilapia. It's affordable, doesn't taste too fishy, cooks quickly, and is widely available in frozen fillets across the country. On paper, it sounds like the perfect option for older adults looking to eat healthy on a budget. But here's what most people don't realize. When it comes to imported farm-raised tilapia, especially from China and parts of Southeast Asia, this so-called safe choice might be quietly fueling chronic inflammation throughout your body. Imported tilapia is often raised in overcrowded fish farms where the water quality is poor, the environment is unsanitary, and the fish are fed a highly processed diet of soy pellets, cornmeal, and animal byproducts. These conditions do more than just compromise cleanliness. They drastically alter the nutritional profile of the fish. One of the biggest problems with imported tilapia is its extremely high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. While omega-6 fats are essential in small amounts, an excess, especially when not balanced by anti-inflammatory omega-3 seconds, can trigger systemic inflammation. And for seniors already battling arthritis, fatigue, or cardiovascular issues, that inflammation can make daily life feel heavier, stiffer, and more painful than it needs to be. Many older adults who eat tilapia regularly report feeling more bloated after meals, noticing flare-ups in their joints, or experiencing sudden dips in energy and mental focus. You might assume it's just aging catching up, but it could be your dinner fighting against your body. If you're already eating tilapia and don't have an immediate alternative, there are a few ways to make it less harmful. First, choose U.S. farmed tilapia. If possible, it's held to stricter standards. Look for certifications like Best Aquaculture Practices, VAP, on the packaging, and always avoid deep frying it in vegetable oil, which only adds more omega-6 seconds. Instead, steam, bake, or grill it with anti-inflammatory ingredients like turmeric, garlic, and olive oil. But if you suffer from autoimmune conditions, inflammatory arthritis, or metabolic issues like prediabetes, be extra cautious. Tilapia might seem gentle, but for a body already fighting hidden fires, it can add fuel when what you need most is calm, steady nourishment. We eat fish, hoping it will strengthen us. But with the wrong kind, especially ones like imported tilapia, we may be feeding the very inflammation we're trying to escape. For generations, canned tuna has been a lunchbox staple across America. It's quick, convenient, shelf-stable, and packs a good dose of protein. For many seniors, it feels like a smart choice, especially when you're tired of cooking and just want something easy. But when it comes to albacore tuna, the kind commonly found in canned form, there's a hidden danger that few people talk about: mercury. And for people over 60, the risk is far more serious than you might think. You see, tuna are large, long-living predators. The longer a fish lives and the higher it is in the ocean food chain, the more mercury it accumulates in its flesh. Albacore tuna, in particular, tends to carry some of the highest levels of mercury among commonly eaten fish, especially when caught in certain parts of the world. And what does mercury do inside your body? It's a neurotoxin, which means it interferes directly with the health of your brain and nervous system. In seniors, even small, repeated doses over time can lead to subtle but serious symptoms: memory lapses, difficulty concentrating, irritability, fatigue, even numbness or tingling in the hands and feet. For those already experiencing cognitive decline, mercury only accelerates the damage. But it doesn't stop with the brain. Mercury also affects your heart and kidneys, increasing oxidative stress and disrupting your body's ability to detoxify. You may not feel the effects right away, but over months or years, they quietly build up. Now, does this mean you should never eat tuna again? Not necessarily, but moderation is key, and choosing the right type matters even more. If you do eat canned tuna, opt for light tuna instead of albacore. Light tuna typically comes from smaller fish like skipjack, which have much lower mercury levels. And even then, limit it to once a week, at most, especially if you already have high blood pressure, kidney issues, or take medications that stress your liver. Avoid combining canned tuna with other high-mercury seafood like swordfish or king mackerel. And if you've been eating it often and have noticed recent changes in mood, memory, or energy, don't dismiss it as just part of getting older. It could be your body quietly reacting to something toxic. As we age, our detox systems slow down. What might have been harmless at 30 or 40 can become a burden at 65 or 70. Canned tuna may seem convenient, but for the aging body, it could be a silent trigger, accelerating decline, when what you truly need is healing. After so many warnings, you might be wondering, is there any fish left that's actually safe to eat after 60? The answer is a resounding yes. In fact, some of the most powerful foods for aging bodies don't come in fancy packages or cost a fortune. They're just overlooked. Take herring, for example. This modest little fish might not have the spotlight like salmon or tuna, but when it comes to restoring strength, protecting your heart, and keeping your brain sharp, it's a quiet powerhouse. Unlike larger fish, herring are small, oily fish that live low on the food chain. That means they're naturally low in mercury, but incredibly rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, the exact types of fats your body needs to fight inflammation, sharpen memory, and support aging joints. In fact, gram for gram, herring contains even more omega-3 seconds than salmon, without the baggage of farming chemicals or heavy metals. But it doesn't stop there. Herring is also loaded with vitamin D, which helps support bone strength and immunity. and vitamin B12, essential for nerve health and red blood cell formation. These are nutrients many seniors are quietly deficient in, leading to fatigue, poor balance, or numbness in the hands and feet. A clinical study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 60 who increased their omega-3 intake from oily fish like herring had measurable improvements in cognitive performance and reduced markers of inflammation within just 12 weeks. So, how do you eat it? Herring is often sold smoked, pickled, or canned, especially in European and specialty grocery stores. But here's the trick. Look for low-sodium or fresh versions when possible. While the traditional smoked herring is delicious, too much salt can be hard on your blood pressure. Better yet, choose herring packed in olive oil or water, simple, clean, and easy to pair with other flavors. Aim for 2-3 servings per week. That's about 3-4 ounces per serving. Try flaking it over a salad with lemon and dill, mixing it with plain Greek yogurt and chopped red onion for a creamy spread, or serving it warm over steamed vegetables and potatoes. A squeeze of lemon or a splash of vinegar can help cut through the richness, making it more palatable if you're not used to oily fish. Herring may not win any beauty contests, but when it comes to aging gracefully, it's one of the best allies you can have on your plate. Sometimes, the quietest foods carry the loudest benefits. If herring is the quiet hero of healthy aging, then mahi-mahi is its graceful, easygoing cousin, light, tender, and remarkably kind to the senior body. Often overlooked in favor of flashier fish, mahi-mahi delivers a perfect balance for those who want high-quality protein without the heaviness or the risks that come with bigger fish. Mahi-mahi, also called dolphin fish, not to be confused with the mammal dolphin, is a fast-growing, short-lived fish, which means it naturally accumulates very low levels of mercury. That alone makes it safer than tuna or swordfish. But the real value of mahi-mahi lies in its nutritional profile. It's a rich source of niacin, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, and vitamin B12, all of which are critical for brain function, energy metabolism, and maintaining healthy nerves as we age. It also contains a modest but meaningful amount of selenium, an antioxidant mineral that protects cells from oxidative stress, a major contributor to both heart disease and cognitive decline in older adults. And unlike fattier fish, mahi-mahi is naturally low in saturated fat, making it an excellent option for seniors managing cholesterol or sensitive digestion. In one study from the Journal of Gerontology, seniors who increased intake of lean, selenium-rich fish, like mahi-mahi, showed improvements in vascular elasticity, meaning better blood flow, lower blood pressure, and more stable energy throughout the day. To get the most from mahi-mahi, aim for 1-2 servings per week, around 4 ounces each. It's widely available in frozen fillets at stores like Costco, Whole Foods, and Trader Joe's. Always check the label for wild-caught and U.S. or Central American sources where fishing practices are more sustainable and regulated. Mahi-mahi's mild, slightly sweet flavor makes it incredibly versatile and friendly for those who shy away from fishy tastes. Try grilling it with a brush of olive oil and lemon, or pan-searing it with a sprinkle of paprika and garlic. It pairs beautifully with mango salsa, roasted vegetables, or a spoonful of mashed avocado on the side. And if chewing or digestion is a challenge, mahi-mahi can also be steamed and flaked easily into rice or soft-cooked grains. It's gentle on the stomach, easy to season, and doesn't leave an oily aftertaste, perfect for the aging palate. In the world of seafood, mahi-mahi might not have the fame of salmon or tuna. But for seniors seeking clean strength, steady energy, and heart-smart nourishment, it's one of the best-kept secrets in the ocean. When your body starts feeling slower, your digestion weaker, and your energy less reliable, it's time to stop chasing trendy superfoods and start looking at clean, simple proteins that truly nourish from the inside out. One of the most underrated in this category is whitefish, especially the kinds sourced from cold freshwater lakes in North America. Whitefish, like lake whitefish, is a soft, flaky fish that delivers exactly what aging muscles and brains need most: high quality, easily digestible protein, and a clean dose of omega-3 fatty acids, without the mercury, without the strong smell, and without the digestive burden. A single 4-ounce portion of whitefish gives you around 20 grams of complete protein, which is essential for preserving muscle mass, especially after 60. It also contains about 500–700 milligrams of omega-3 seconds, enough to help reduce joint inflammation, improve circulation, and support cognitive clarity. In addition, whitefish offers good amounts of vitamin B6 and phosphorus, 2 key nutrients for metabolism and bone health. Whitefish is especially valuable for seniors who have trouble with heavier meats or fatty fish. Its low oil content and mild flavor make it easier to digest and more appealing to those with changing taste preferences. It's gentle on the stomach, doesn't leave an oily aftertaste, and won't trigger reflux the way fattier cuts sometimes do. For best results, aim to eat whitefish once or twice a week. It's widely available in frozen fillets, especially in the Midwest and Northeast, often labeled as lake whitefish, white bass, or freshwater whitefish. When shopping, choose wild caught if available, and always check the packaging to avoid added sodium or preservatives. When it comes to cooking, whitefish is as forgiving as it is nutritious. Bake it at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, with a drizzle of olive oil, lemon juice, and fresh herbs like dill or parsley. You can also steam it and flake it into soups, grain bowls, or even soft tacos. Because of its neutral flavor, it takes on seasonings beautifully. Try turmeric and garlic for an anti-inflammatory twist, or top it with sautéed onions and a squeeze of lime for a quick, satisfying meal. If chewing or digestion is an issue, whitefish can be mashed gently with olive oil and a spoonful of plain yogurt to make a soft, protein-rich spread for toast or crackers. Don't let its name fool you. Whitefish may look plain, but it delivers exactly what your aging body is asking for: clean strength, steady energy, and quiet healing from within. If there's one fish most people overlook or avoid altogether, it's anchovies. Too salty, too fishy, too small to matter. That's the reputation. But for seniors over 60, anchovies may be one of the smartest, most healing choices you can put on your plate. Because behind that strong taste is a nutrient profile that checks every box your aging body needs. Let's start with the basics. Anchovies are small, oily fish typically eaten whole bones, skin, organs, and all. That's not a drawback. That's the secret to their power. Just a few small fillets provide an impressive dose of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, calcium, and selenium, 4 of the most critical nutrients for seniors dealing with joint pain, weak bones, brain fog, or low energy. A single ounce of anchovies gives you over 800 milligrams of omega-3 seconds, more than most people get in an entire day. These healthy fats reduce inflammation in your joints, support memory and concentration, and even improve blood flow to the heart and brain. Anchovies are also one of the rare seafood sources that naturally contain calcium thanks to their edible bones. Just 5 anchovy fillets can give you about 15–20% of your daily calcium needs, which matters deeply if you're fighting osteoporosis or age-related bone loss. And unlike large fish like tuna, anchovies are incredibly low in mercury. Their short lifespan and tiny size mean they don't accumulate toxins, making them safe for frequent consumption even 2 to 3 times a week. When shopping, look for anchovies packed in olive oil or water, and check the label for low sodium or no salt added if you're managing high blood pressure. Avoid versions packed in soybean oil or overly processed sauces. They come with unnecessary additives and inflammation-promoting fats. As for taste, yes, anchovies are strong, but they're also versatile. Mash a few fillets into a vinaigrette with lemon and garlic, and you've just created a flavorful salad dressing that supports your heart. Blend them into tomato sauce for a richer depth without overwhelming the dish. Or, mix into warm vegetables with a drizzle of olive oil. They'll melt into the background while adding minerals your body quietly craves. If chewing is a challenge, anchovy paste is another option. It spreads easily on whole grain toast, or can be stirred into soups and stews for a hidden nutritional boost. Anchovies may be small, but they carry weight where it matters most, in your bones, your brain, and your energy. For a body that needs strength without stress, this tiny fish delivers in every bite. Now you know the truth. Not all fish are created equal. Some like basa, farm salmon, tilapia, and canned tuna may quietly fuel inflammation, drain your energy, and age your brain faster than you realize. But others like herring, mahi-mahi, whitefish, and anchovies can rebuild strength, protect your heart, sharpen your mind, and nourish you deeply from the inside out. And the best part? You don't need to change everything overnight. Just one smart choice at a time, swapping harmful fish for healing ones, 2 or 3 meals a week, can set your body on a powerful path to recovery. Start small. Buy a fillet of whitefish instead of tilapia. Try anchovies in your next salad dressing. Bake some herring with lemon. Your body will feel the difference, slowly, steadily, and deeply. Healing isn't about being perfect. It's about being informed. And now you are. If this video gave you something to think about, tap the like button and share it with someone you care about. And tell me in the comments, what fish will you add to your plate this week to support your comeback?